So this €189 phone from Poco provides excellent performance for the price, and this one is latest budget phone from Poco, and this company always goes for some bang for buck smartphones, and they have also delivered in the past phones like Poco F1, Poco F3 GTs. They were really good. This one also delivers in terms of performance at just €189. So why is it so good? Let's find out. So the Poco M5 comes with MediaTek's Helio G99 chipset, which is an improvement over the Helio G96. Well, basically this one is much more efficient because this one is made on 6nm process, whereas the G96 was made on 12nm process, and this one, the G99, is slightly overclocked compared to G96, else they use same GPUs. And the G96 is equipped on some of the expensive smartphones than this one, like the Redmi Note 11 Pro 4Z and the Redmi Note 11S. And this one actually performs better in terms of benchmarks. So if we look at the ANTUTU 9 benchmark, this one outscores the Helio G96. And also in Geekbench 5, if you look at the single core and the multi-core score, this one goes ahead of the G96 again, and also goes head to head against the Snapdragon 695 chipset. And now if we move on to some GPU benchmark like the 3D Mark Wildlife stress test, then you can see that this one has very good scores compared to the G96 and even competes against the Snapdragon 695, which is found on much more expensive smartphones like the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. So navigating through the UI using apps, jumping between apps is a real breeze on the smartphone. It can handle it pretty well, but this one can also game even heavy games at low to medium settings. So I played PUBG on this thing at two different settings, smooth and then SD setting, and this was really good. It provides stable FPS and there were zero stutters literally, and the frame drops were also negligible. So PUBG runs really smooth, and Call of Duty Mobile runs even smoother. So you can get 59 around that average FPS at low and medium both settings. And this one runs the Call of Duty Mobile really good. It was really smooth, literally zero stutters, and frame drops were also negligible, but you will notice slight frame drops on medium settings on the Call of Duty Mobile. So as good as it performs, the Poco M5 also looks good. Well, it is of course subjective, but I like the look of the Poco M5. So this one is made out of plastic also to make this phone budget friendly. This is a plastic bag, and the bag blends nicely into this plastic frame and has that unibody feel, unibody design kind of. And then if you look at the camera band, this one has that pixel-like design, but they could have done without the Poco logo over here. It looks, puts off. And then moving on, if you look here, we have the volume button and the power button, which also includes a fingerprint sensor. So this one, how it actually works is you have to press the button to unlock. If the screen is off, you cannot just rest the finger on this like other smartphones, so you actually have to press if the screen is off. So this could be annoying for some people out there. And then this one also has a USB Type-C over here, a bottom single firing speaker, and then a mic over here. Then on top, this one has 3.5mm headphone jack and an IR blaster. And on this side, you get dual SIM support and a dedicated micro SD card slot. However, this one looks ugly from the front because it still uses that water drop notch, which is quite outdated for a 2022 smartphone. And the bottom bezel, the chin, is also quite thick. Also, the phone is a large phone, so you will have to use two hands to use a smartphone. And this one is also on the heavier side, so it weighs around 201 grams, which is heavy, but the weight distribution is really good, so you do not really feel that heft when you're using this phone. It is really comfortable to use. So the display is also quite good here. It has a 6.58-inch Full HD IPS LCD panel with 90Hz refresh rate and 500 nits of max brightness. The brightness is more than adequate. Even if you use outdoors, you are not going to have any problems under direct sunlight. The brightness is really good. About the color, it is, well, let's say it won't disappoint you if you're watching video contents on YouTube or Netflix. And this one also comes with wideband L1 certification, so you can watch full HD content on Netflix. Now talking about the 90 Hz refresh rate, it is really smooth. The display feels smooth along with the 90 Hz refresh rate. It also has 240 Hz touch sampling rate, which improves the responsiveness of the screen. So that is really good here. And you get two options to choose from. So you can either use the 90 Hz refresh rate or you can stick with the 60 Hz. So if you're using the 90 Hz refresh rate, the screen will stay at 90 Hz for most of the times, but it is app specific. So if you use YouTube, then it will drop down to 60 Hz automatically. But if you're using some apps like Instagram, Facebook, then it will stay at 90 Hz no matter the content, whether it is video or images. But I did notice that it drops down to 30 Hz in some apps like Play Store and some benchmark apps like the 3D Mark wildlife benchmark test. It did drop down to 30 Hz for an instance, let's say 2 to 3 seconds, then it will again jump back to 60 or 90 Hz. So everything is good so far, but is its camera up to the par? Well, you get a triple camera setup on the rear with a 50 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth camera. On the front, you get a single 8 megapixel sensor for selfies. So the main sensor here is the Samsung's JN1 50 megapixel sensor, and to be fair, the images are not that impressive. It is average at best. So the sharpness is lacking, the details is not quite there, is not up to par. The color is, let's say, balanced, slightly on the neutral side, but it does have that hint of contrast, so it's fine. But the dynamic range is really not that impressive, and also if you look at the photos, it does tend to overexpose the brighter areas. So the main photos are not that impressive. Now moving on, the portraits are actually quite good. If you are shooting portraits under some good lighting, you will get some good results, but it does struggle with some hairs, things like hair. The background blur is nice, but it does struggle with fine details like the hair in terms of the subject detection. But overall, the portrait photos are really good. But if you are shooting portraits against a heavy light, or if there's some strong light on the background, it will overexpose the background. Likewise, the macro photo, they are really not good. You will not be shooting any macro photos with this because the detail is not there and the contrast is also not good. So like the photos, the videos from the Poco M5 are also average. So we can capture at up to 1080p 30 fps from this thing, and the video are not that detailed. There's that sharpness is not quite there. The contrast is also really not good, and the dynamic range is not impressive whatsoever, and it also lacks good stabilization. The overall video quality is not impressive on the Poco M5. But what's impressive is its battery. So this one comes with 5000 mAh battery, and it provides 6 to 7 hours of screen on time if you are using, even if you are gaming for an hour or two, and then plenty of social media and YouTube videos. So with mixed uses, I was getting around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. Likewise, if you're a light user, you can get this phone, you can use this phone up to 2 days easily. But if you are a heavy user, this will easily give you more than a day of uses. But what's not good here is the charging. So it actually comes with a 22.5 watt charger in the box, but this one only supports 18 watt fast charging. That takes 2 hours to charge this device from 0 to 100%. Now moving on, the speaker is quite loud, but it does sound irritating at max volume because it distorts at maximum volume. Let's take a listen. So yeah, the speaker is only average. I have listened to better speakers at this price tag. The quality is not quite good. So this one comes with Android 12 out of the box with MIUI 13, but there's not much difference with MIUI 13 in the Android 11 and the Android 12 because you are not getting upgrade in terms of feature or customization. Maybe Xiaomi should look at providing more customization features like accent colors, like some other smartphone companies are already providing. This one does come with some bloatwares from Xiaomi itself and Google, but the overall, the smoothness is quite good. I have not noticed any bugs, and the optimization feels really good on this specific unit. So if you're looking for a phone with very good performance under a budget, this one is definitely the phone to go for. Well, this is not perfect because it is missing an ultra wide camera, which you can easily get, and if you want that, you should look for the other smartphone. Also, the main camera performance is really not good here, but everything else is fine, and the performance is really the best for the price. For just 189 euros, this one is definitely the best performing phone. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it, and if you have not still subscribed to our channel, well, hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon for notifications. Until next time, namaste.